Today we're taking a look at the generation 2 of the sexy buttons from the maker of the sexy knob that we recently reviewed in the channel. With these upgraded buttons, you can control over 130 different smart functions that are not even applicable and available on the Tesla's main screen. For example, just with this one button, if I press and hold, it'll unlatch the front passenger door, so easy access for your passenger. If I double tap this same button, it will unfold and fold the mirror, and if I single tap this, it will unlatch the glove box. So just with one button you can control 3 different things, various functionalities, and as I said, over 130 different functions like regenerative braking, battery preconditioning, and we'll go through all of those functions here in the video. In addition, you also get a portable instrument cluster display using your phone, where you can not only see the critical car information directly on your view, but it also shows other information that is not available on your Tesla screen, such as battery degradation, the temperature, the motor power, and so much more. This product was sent to us free of charge by Enhance to review in our channel, but they're not paying us, they're not sponsoring the video, 100% our honest opinion like always. But if you do use our discount code Shiva Tesla during checkout, you should be able to save significant amount of money, and in return, we might make a very small commission at no additional cost to you, which helps us bring videos like this in the future. Thank you very much for your support. If you could please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Let's go through a quick unboxing process, show you all the wiring, and we're going to talk about what changed since the generation 1 of this unit. First of all, there are 2 plugs that you see here. You don't need both of these plugs. I'm just showing you the demonstration here that they could send you 2 plugs depending on which car model that you have. So first of all, before placing an order, if you're going to check this out, go behind the center console area, pop out the rear cover, and see if you have a blue OBD plug. If you do, then you got a regular OBD plug in the rear that you just need this rear console adapter, and you can just order as such. If your car was built in Austin or Shanghai sometime starting last year, it's the standard range Model Y, you are not going to have that blue plug in the back, and they send you a front plug. This is the one that connects in the door panel. I'll show you how to do that during the installation process, but there are 2 different plugs to support all Tesla Model 3 and Model Y models. And if you have a Highland, this plug still works in the front. They should also have a rear one, but there is definitely a front one. I have seen that. So they have you covered depending on what car model that you have. So that's the wiring piece of it. And again, we'll talk about this here in just a second, but super simple. You do a OBD-Y connector and connect to the commander. If we open this, Enhance does a really good job with their packaging, and they send you a minimalist packaging, kind of like Tesla. And you see all of these buttons here. And if you pop this out, you see that this is the button, very small real estate, and it looks very sleek and modern. And over here towards the left is what you see, the new commander. This is the piece that in the past used to be a little bit bulky. It was a little bit bigger, but this one is a lot smaller now, and you can definitely hide this behind that cover plate with this new design. And it is a very, again, small real estate. We'll talk about how this connects, but basically you just take this OBD, you make the Y connector. You can daisy chain multiple plugs on the rear if you have other accessories, no problem. And then you just take this pin and then connect it to the commander, and that is about it. That is the whole installation process. Now, one more thing they added with the Generation 2 console is that they now send you these stickers for programming your buttons. So let's say if you want to program this button to always do the glove box, you can just peel that and then paste it here, then you know that that's glove box. Of course, if you reprogram it, you can program over 130 different features to these 4 buttons here. So you can then, if you reprogram it, you can just peel the sticker and put the new programming in there. So that is everything that you see here. Now let's quickly talk about what changed from the last year or 2 years ago that these buttons were released. So this is the Generation 1 button that we have with us, and this is the Generation 2 button. And if you look at it, they're exactly the same. It doesn't seem like much has changed, but there are 2 different notable changes. One is the sticker here on the back, the 3M adhesive. This people had issues with this peeling off and not sticking during heat or extreme cold. So they made this a little bit better with this new adhesive in the back. They use a stronger adhesive. This is rated for extreme temperatures, and it's a bit thicker on the adhesive side as well, so that it can stick a little bit better. So that's one change that they made. Another change that they made from the Generation 1 is that, so this is the Generation 1 on the left and Generation 2 on the right. They added a tactile function. So on Generation 1, if I press here, I don't even know if I pressed it or not. There is no confirmation because it's very, very soft to press. And if you look at it, I don't get that confirmation that I pressed here, versus here, I have a tactile confirmation on the new one. Like if I'm pressing, I get that click. I get that click and I know that I pressed the button, versus this one is a soft press. It does not give you that tactile feedback. So that is another thing that they changed. Of course, the commander is now a lot smaller, slick looking. You can hide it easily versus the little bit of a bulky commander that they had on the Generation 1. Aside from those two hardware changes, Enhance also made some architecture changes on this new version. First of all, the response time. The Generation 2 buttons are a lot faster than Generation 1, and it is noticeable when you have both side by side, and I was testing it earlier, and I can confirm that they made those changes. And the Generation 1 was great. It just took a little bit, like a fraction of a second after you press this to, let's say, open a glove box. Now you don't even notice that difference. You press on it, you get that tactile haptic feedback, and then all of a sudden things happen in your car. So they significantly improved the response time because they are using different technology on this commander as well as the button for Generation 2. Second thing that they changed on this new version is that they are now able to map the second OBD signal that Tesla made available in the recent year. So when they first released the sexy buttons a couple years ago, Tesla only had one OBD signal they can map and add those features according to that OBD signal they were receiving. But now they say that Tesla added a second signal where now you can tap into more features and map into more features. And Commander 1, that's first generation, just the technology is not there for it to be able to read both signal at the same time, versus this new commander can read both OBD1 and 2 signal at the same time. And I don't fully understand what that means. I talked to their engineers and they say that they can unlock more than 30 some features just using that second signal that they are able to map using the Tesla's rear OBD port or the front OBD port. For most cars with the rear OBD port here, the installation is super simple. We're just going to be removing this panel, bypassing this connector, the Y connector, and plugging it into the Bluetooth unit. And for those cars that don't have this blue plug, I'll show you next how to connect that in the front. But basically what you do is take the pry tool that they sent with the kit and then pry open this area in the back. And it's a super simple panel. As you see, just comes right out, and you just remove this here and you expose this blue plug. Now, after you have exposed that blue OBD port, the next step is to really just make a Y connector out of this whole connection here in the back. And to do that, all you have to do is pinch this middle tab here, and while holding it down, pull the connector out. And then now we're going to take the female connector of the new harness that looks like this and plug it into the male connector of the Tesla harness, and it'll click into its place. Now take the male end of this wire harness, the new wire harness, and then connect it back to the Tesla's OBD port here. You just have to line this up and it clicks into its place. And that's it. You made that entire Y connector here, and there's nothing else to do other than taking this commander piece, which is this Bluetooth, as I said, this is the brain of the unit, and simply plugging it in here. So just align the two little notches that are at the end, plug this in, and you're good to go. Now, if you don't have that blue OBD plug in the back central console, they also send you this wiring harness that works for the front console. And again, this is only if you don't have that back console. Most cars already have it. So if you open that back and you don't see one, then you're going to use this method. Now, for that connection, you're going to want to remove this panel by using a pry tool. When you remove this, you're going to expose a plastic fastener right about here, where you're going to remove that as well. And when you remove that, you can remove this entire bottom footwell panel altogether. When you expose the wiring, you're going to see a blue OBD plug there. You're going to take this male end of the new plug and plug it into that blue OBD port. Then right next to it, you're going to see the power panel, which you're going to remove the power plug by using the same method, pinching in the middle, removing it, and then you're going to bypass that power connection using the connection that is provided with the new wiring harness. And then at the end, you're going to plug in the commander piece here. So that is the front connection. To get it started, we go to the Sexy Buttons app that's available for both Android and iPhone. This is an Android phone. And over here, if you look at it, this is the dashboard that they have, which is really neat. This has been the same dashboard for many years where you can see the speed. And what this does is if we were to just change this and go to full screen here, you get that instrument cluster display. So this is just an option here where you see the steering wheel heater is on and it shows all of the information, including the battery degradation here, which is the capacity. So if we were to go to the settings, on the top here, you can change that. So if you want to show the brake light, you can hide the button start, you can remove the battery capacity. And if you do that, it will just go back to just being regular here. You see the motor, the regen, you can see a lot of things like the torque, and you can see some of the information. Like if we were to do the turn signal, as you look at it, it gave you that turn signal. If we go here, gave you the turn signal. So it does all of that. It shows the light. So turn on the light. It shows autopilot. It shows all of that information. So that is the mobile instrument cluster display that you get directly from the app here. So if we were to go back, this is what you get. Now, in here, it says commander, buttons, and the nub. So we have connected our nub here, and it's the same commander that can do both. So one commander can do both the nub as well as the buttons. And if we go here on the commander, if you look at it right here on the right, it actually tells you there's a firmware update available. And to do that, you just go over here and then update the firmware for this. So that is what is super easy. It shows all of the information directly here and super easy to navigate. Another thing in this dashboard that you can add is various stats that you want to see as soon as you open the app. For example, if you go here, you can add smart actions, and the smart actions would be, okay, let's say you add an action here. You can control various things using the action, or you can also see the stats. So for example, if you are like, okay, I just want to see the temperatures. So if I want to see the temperatures of the rear stator, all of these things that you only see the stuff in the service menu, now it is available. You can also see the battery temperature, you can see the power, whatever you want to quickly see in there, you have that, right? Like, so you can see the range. So let's say if I want the battery temperature and I want to see the nominal when new, full, if I go to temperature here, so if I want to see the battery temperature, so that's the main Tesla battery, I save here and go back, and then it shows very quickly here. So as soon as I fire up the app, I will see the current battery temperature of my Tesla, the main high voltage battery temperature. So that is what you get with this main dashboard here. Now let's go ahead and add the button. And to do that, all you have to do is go over here in the button, add a sexy button, and it says press and hold. So press and hold, and success. So the button has been added. So we added this button and program it. So if we go to that button now, by default, it says that it will open the glove box when you press on it. So let's give it a try actually. And the glove box opens. So that was correct. It worked, but we can change that. So let's go over here and you can go through all of this menu. We'll talk about here in just a second. But what you can also do is that's the single press. So it opens the glove box. Now for a double press, you can also assign an action. As I said, there's 3 different actions that you can assign to a single button. So if we were to add a double press, it gives you a notice that the action will be delayed by like 0.3 seconds because you're adding so many to the same button, which is okay. So we hit okay. And now you can open and close various things, or headlights or climate control. You can do a lot. So let's say I want to do the toggle. So toggle 1, we'll just save this action. So it says toggle 1 of the wipers, and let's double press this. And you saw that it toggled just 1. So it just does the setting of 1. So that means it's going to be slow. But if I were to double press on this again, it should go back to auto, and you saw that in the screen, as well as that the wipers are not going to turn on now. So that is double press. Now you can also do press and hold, and it gives you the same error here, just letting you know it's going to be a little bit slow. So if we go over here, it says the press and hold, and I can change different things here. So I can do mirrors, heated seat, I can do headlights, tilt, I can do all of that. So if we were to go to headlight here, and let's see if that works, and it says high beam. So if I want to turn on the high beam, low beam, so if we were to turn on the high beam using long press, now that is going to be the high beam when we long press. So keep in mind, press once, it opens glove box, press twice, it toggles the wiper. Now if I press and hold, it should turn on the high beam. And you saw that the high beam has turned on, and it says it's in auto. So that works. So that's really crazy that you can assign so many different things to just this one button, and now we have assigned all of those here. And I can super easily change that. So you know what, instead of glove box, just do the trunk. So I can save it super quickly, right? Now if I press on it, it just opens the trunk. And as you saw that, it opened the trunk so easily, so quickly. I press on it again, and the trunk is closing. So you can program this all day you want, and you can have so many different features directly embedded here. You can change the letter of the button. You can then now paste different stickers here to see what each of those buttons do. You can also remove the button, and to remove it, just press the remove button and then it will remove it. So super easily you can do all of that. Now let's go through some of the other features that this has, and let's just start from the very top. So if you look at it, there is so many different commands that this support, and if we go through each of them, so if we go to open, it does trunk, front left door, front right door, front rear left, and rear right. So you can unlatch all 4 doors using the button. So let's say if I want to do the front left door, which is the driver door here, now if I press on it, it will unlatch this door, the driver door. So press, and you saw that it unlatched it super quickly, super fast. So it allows you to do that here with just the open. So that was open, and it will go all the way to glove box. So now on the second menu, it is the acceleration. You can toggle the acceleration, chill, sport, plaid, toggle plaid. So you can do all of that for the higher end model, super self-explanatory. Regen braking, I think this is really great, especially during the snow time. You don't want that 100% regen, and Tesla doesn't allow you to change that. So if we were to go to pedals and steering over here, it does not have that regen where you can't change the regen. And I see that because you want to maximize your range, but if you don't like regen and if you want to minimize that, Tesla doesn't have the ability to do that. So now you can use this button. You can set the regen to 0. So if I was to set that to 0 and then press this button, then the regen will be 0. Like you will not get regen. You can get 100%. You can increase the regen up and down, go through a loop down. You can do a lot of this here just for regen. So there's so many different options that you can go through just for regen. This has been one of the highly requested features, so it's really good to see that. Autopilot, you can change the cruising speed to -1, +1. This actually gets rid of the nag. So if you were to put this button somewhere close here or even behind the steering wheel, and while you are driving, if it prompts you to put your hand on the steering wheel, you can just press that button and it will increase the cruising speed by +1 or -1. Just keep in mind that the camera is still tracking you, so you have to pay attention to the road, but you can also get rid of the nag by pressing on the buttons, and you can increase the cruising speed plus, -5, +5, cruise control on, autopilot. Autopilot hands on is just to you press again to adjust the AP speed from up and down. You can do a lot of this. Autopilot on, autopilot max. And if we look at it here, every press of the button will enable the autopilot and set the cruising speed to the current speed limit, whatever you are at. And this only works on Model 3 and Y, excluding Highland. And this is still at beta. So there is a lot of features that they have added on the autopilot menu. In the media, volume up, down, next, previous, just the standard. Charging, you can battery precondition, which is really huge if you're going to a non-Tesla supercharger, or even if you're going to a supercharger and your supercharger is in a short distance and you want to be able to manually precondition the battery, you press here and then it preconditions your battery. I've tried it. I hear the battery preconditioning. You can also monitor the battery temperature from the dash that I showed you earlier. Charge port open. closed charge port mirror. You can tilt the mirror, dim the mirror, fold the mirror. Heated seat, you can toggle the front, the back. There's a lot, like toggle all rear, toggle the AC, the rear and the front. You can toggle all of this directly from here. Seat cooling, this is only if you have the seat cooling like the Highland or some of the other higher end models have, and you can go through that. So this is only if it is applicable. Your non-seat cooling ability Tesla is not going to magically start cooling your seat, so that is not a thing. Climate control, again, steering wheel heater, fan speed up, down, fan speed max, defrost, defog, recirculation, AC toggle, AC on, AC off. I mean, you see the functionality in this thing is just crazy. You can adjust that headlight, high beam, low beam, yoke high beam, fog light rear, fog light all. You can also have the running daytime light on some of the models. Wipers, standard, if you can increase, half increase, you can toggle it, loop. So you just put it on a loop where it increases by 0.5. Tesla does not even allow you to do that, right? It goes on an increment of 1 to just whole numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. But here you can do a standard loop of half a loop, which is 0.5. So you can increase the speed by 0.5 if none of those are applicable. You know, you want to customize that. So it even allows you to get to that level, which is just crazy, right? Return to auto, all of that is here. Activate the windshield washer with the washer fluid. That's actually interesting. Let's try that. So washer fluid, I want to try that. Yeah, it sprayed the washer fluid, which is crazy. So it does all of that here with the wiper control as well. And then if we go back, tilt, if you have one of those screens that tilt on a Model S or X, it allows you to have that. Stopping mode, so you can do creep, hold, or roll, and you can temporarily override what your car does by just pressing on that. Traction control, drift mode pro, slip start, off-road. Off-road is not even available on the Tesla's menu, and you can do all of that. You can toggle between the off-road, slip start, or normal mode in the snow, sand when you need to get out. There is accessibility, which is this is another one of those features where it's the left turn, the right turn, the short left turn, short right turn, and you can also do the yoke. There's a short honk, long, very short honk, double honk, hazard light, voice command. You can activate all of that directly from here. And one of the things that is really awesome about these turn signals is, let's say you are in autopilot and you are driving on a highway and you don't want to use the toggle, you don't want to remove your hand to use the toggle, you can paste these buttons in the back for each turn signal. So it could be right turn signal or left turn signal, and you program it to be that. That means you can just press once and then it will do the left or right turn signal without using the stock here, so which is really cool. You can go through all of this menu. Gear shift, you can set to park, reverse, neutral, drive. You can toggle drive to park just using this button. So once, and then second, third, you can toggle all of this. So I'm hoping that this is very useful for those of you who don't have the gear stock and you're having to use the touch screen here to toggle through different gears. This is probably going to come in handy. And then of course there is the lock and unlock. There is toggle, child lock right, and then there's also others. You can turn on the interior light, so the dome light, parking brake, track mode, thank you 2, you can flash your lights, thank you 3, you can flash your light 3 times. So it's really awesome that they included all of these features. It's just so amazing to me, like how much you can change, and you can program each of this to one of these buttons, and it's super easy. Override it, do another programming. So it includes a lot of those features, which is really handy. I have the version 1 of the Sexy button installed on my Model 3 over there, and what I did is I actually pasted one of these buttons on the back of my screen here in a very accessible location, and I use that solely for the wiper control. So instead of fumbling through the settings screen here to find where the wiper controls are, what I do is I just press through here. I put it in a loop, so I just press through here. So if it is an auto, Tesla's auto thingy is very terrible. It does not work very well with the wipers. So all I do is press and then loop through different cycles to see what I like, and I just keep on that. So I put it in the loop. So that's one of the areas where I can use the buttons. This also has a couple of hidden features, such as the door handles. So if you long pull or half press on the door handle for the front or the front right or the front left, it can open your frunk. It also has the charge port unlock, where if you press on the rear door handle or pull on the rear door handle for a little while, it will unlock the charge port. It also has the kick down, which is to increase the power if you just press and hold on your accelerator. Auto off, this is a game changer feature where if you have a force manual high beam or turn off the wipers, this is where it's an annoying feature that Tesla has. When you turn on the autopilot, it does not let you turn off the wipers. It automatically set it to auto, and if you want to turn off the wipers, you got to get out of autopilot, and now this fixes that. So you got a auto off here. Now, next is the continuous autopilot. This is a feature for those of you who have just a basic autopilot on your Tesla. And if you need to change lanes, every time you change the lane, it doesn't do the auto lane change for you. So you put your blinker, you get out of autopilot, go back into the next lane, and then toggle the autopilot again. This fixes that issue where, of course, you can't make Tesla do the automatic lane change. What we can do is, once you go to the next lane, after you disengage the autopilot by just giving your signal, forcing the autopilot out and going to the next lane, after preset seconds, like here, after 3 seconds of the blinker stopping, the car will automatically turn on the autopilot again using this device, which is really awesome. You can set the minimum speed, whatever you want, and then it will do that for you. This is limited. This is probably in a beta mode, so just be cautious that it may not work all the time, but that feature exists, which is really nice. There is also the lights, automatically turn on your rear daytime running lights when your front lights are on, presenting doors to pop up the driver or passenger doors, and this is not active yet. And if I wanted to activate, this feature does not exist on Model Y today because they are talking about that self-presenting door on Model X, and if I check if your car is supported, it says it is not supported yet because this only works on Model X today. Scan My Tesla, now you can integrate other third-party apps without needing to daisy chain multiple plugs in that rear OBD. You can just use this one and connect with other third-party apps such as the Scan My Tesla, Tesla X, or CanDash directly using this command here, the commander here, and then secure your Tesla, safe Bluetooth connect. So you got all of those extra features here as well. All right, let's bring this all together. You saw the installation, super easy installation. You saw all the functionality and features that exist in the app and some of the things that we talked about, the difference between version 1 and version 2. If you ask me if it is worth upgrading from version 1, if you already have a version 1 to version 2, I don't think it is worth it just yet because we haven't seen what are offered explicitly for version 2 yet because they haven't incorporated that second signal from the OBD yet. So you're gonna get literally the same thing you're getting on version 1. Now, if you want to see the tactile functionality as well as you want the new commander that is a smaller, slick-looking commander, then I think it is up to you if you want to make that switch. Version 2 is a tad bit faster that I can tell you just based on my testing here. But again, the functionality wise, you get literally the same thing. And that's what I really like about Enhance, as I said before. It is exactly like Tesla. My older Tesla keeps getting the same upgrade as the newer Tesla. So it's the same protocol that they're using. Unless the hardware does not support it, then you'll just get a different upgrade. And we haven't seen that yet with Enhance, where the version 2 has more features. It doesn't yet, and they're working on it. So in conclusion, if you have the version 1, you're happy with it, I would just keep using it and Enhance keep pushing you the software upgrade. Now, if you are in the market to purchase a new button for your Tesla for so many different reasons we have talked about in many of our videos, and we have reviewed so many different buttons in the channel. Some go on the central console, some slide into the screen. There are so many versions of the buttons. I would pick the Enhance's sexy buttons if you are in the market for that. And here are my reasoning. First of all, as I said, they keep sending software upgrades to make this better. And Enhance is just focused on this product. They're not focused on front screen, rear screen. They are not diluted with so many crazy accessories that are coming out. They're razor sharp focused on just this product. So I can count on them to keep updating it and making it better. Another reason is they support all Tesla models. So it is not just the Model 3 or Y, they support the Model S and X as well. So if you have those higher models, the Model S or X, and oftentimes those gets left out with accessories. They can't add new accessories because we pretty much only review accessory for Model 3 and Y, but this product is applicable for all of those models as well. Having said all of that, do you need buttons on your Tesla? It totally depends on your preference and your liking. If you are used to having buttons and knobs on your previous car and you want to keep that on your Tesla when you buy a new Tesla, or you just prefer this for safety reasons, then these are great alternative solution, easy to install, and they offer over 130 different functions right now, and they plan on adding 50 more functionalities in the future software upgrade, including the seat recline and everything that is coming on their roadmap. So super excited for what they go with this buttons. Thank you very much for watching my video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments. If you are using your Sexy Button version 1 or version 2, and if you have noticed the difference or any issues, anything that you want to let me know, please use the comment section below. And I have asked Enhance to monitor the comment section and answer all of our comments and questions that we have, as well as feature requests. Enhance has already incorporated so many feature requests on the Sexy knob just based on our feedback in the channel. So please continue to do that. Thank you very much. If you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and come back again for another Tesla accessory video soon.